What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some Series 12 Wi-Fi battles for most definitely the last time. This is for the Little Root Lessons Draft League. I did get asked very last minute to play one more time as we had a last minute sub, and I decided to bring this team. It was the Secaucus team that I used. The only issue is I have changed several EV spreads on some stuff since last using it. So as a result, yeah, we're not ideal. I definitely would have, liked a much bulkier Assault Vest Kyogre instead of Mystic Water. I also would have liked a very bulky Zacian instead of Imprison. So hoping for a Zacian here, to help me feel better. We're going to see Colossal. So I like Grimmsnarl. I like Grimmsnarl Zacian. In all honesty, I think we want Kyogre and then probably Zapdos. I'm assuming this is Jude's team, so I'm gonna do this. If we get lucky, right, we can go for the Imprison, which I accidentally have on my what's it called? On my thing. Yeah, we're doing what we can. We got pulled in last minute. If I'm gonna be Dynamaxing in Series 12 one more time, would definitely want it to be Kyogre. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna see a Zacian Rillaboom here. So this is good for me. Right, we have access to Imprison. I really want to. Okay, so I'm hoping for. Ideally, what we would see here is going to be a double up into my Grimmsnarl. Right, just saying, hey, this is easy pickings. I would love very much to set up a Reflect and go for an Imprison. Right, that is something we definitely want. So I'm gonna click Reflect. I'm gonna click Imprison. Right, like I said, if we get this off, that's great. They very well could read into us, as we are going to see the Fake Out go perfect into the Grimmsnarl. Huge for us. We're going to be able to fire off an Imprison. This should lock out their Zacian from going for a Behemoth Blade, as we are going to see the substitute be revealed. So this is pretty good for us, right? We do want to get rid of probably the Rillaboom more than the Zacian, right? I am just a little bit more worried about that. So I'm going to go for the Reflect again, and then I'm going to go for the Behemoth Blade onto the Rillaboom, right? We want to try and preserve our Zacian. We could very well see them have Play Rough, which could be scary for us. So if that's the case, right, we might want to do some switching around. Not Play Rough, they might have Sacred Sword. So that could put us in a little bit of an awkward position, but I think we're fine for now, right? We can try and get a big knockout onto this Rillaboom. I'm really hoping we get it, right? We are super bulky. We then potentially could go for the Protect, right? That's something that can really help us, as we will just be able to fire off a really big Reflect for us, as we will get off our Behemoth Blade. We'll see what other attacks the Zacian has. Most likely, it is going to be that Sacred Sword. They are going to live, which is really unfortunate. Probably going to see a double up come out. Yeah, we are going to see the Sacred Sword into our Zacian. Huge taking advantage of that Reflect, right? Not even a 3-hit KO, as the high horsepower going to come out into the Zacian as well. I very much want to keep my Zacian around. I have no reason really to switch out at this point. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a Spirit Break onto their Rillaboom and just protect with my Zacian, just trying to recover a little bit more. So we can fire off the Spirit Break here, go for the Protect. Like I said, we're just trying to stall out as much as possible. And then this should definitely put us in a good, strong position for whatever's in the back, right? If it's the Yveltal, we have ways of dealing with it. We can double up into it and really just trying to pin our opponent as much as possible. And then one adjustment we can make, right, is we can lead very aggressively game 2. I think we definitely want to keep we want to keep Grimmsnarl on the lead, just because it really helps us. We could see a very easy Sacred Sword double up into the Grimmsnarl. Yeah, the Protect here, very obvious. Hoping we're probably not faster than the Rillaboom. We are going to see the U-turn come out, so potential good damage onto whatever comes out, right? We could see what's it called? We could see Incineroar. We could see a Yveltal. Yveltal would be really good for us, right? Being able to just do a lot of damage there, as it is going to be Urshifu. So really, really happy with how this works out, right? Just being able to absolutely put on a ton of pressure right off the bat. Dropping that Urshifu's special attack, not very useful. But at this point, right, I think what we want to actually do is, blade into the, we want to try and blade into the Zacian spot and then KO their Urshifu with a Spirit Break. Or we could, yeah, we want to do this. This suggests to me that they have Colossal in the back. And so we're going to see Perfect, the Protect come out from the Urshifu. We should be able to, at this point, very easily go for the Behemoth Blade. And now what we can do is we can try to paralyze their Zacian, right? Paralyzing their Zacian and setting up an Airstream with our Zapdos, going to put us just in a fantastic position as Sacred Sword going to come out into our Zacian. We hang on with 2. So this is absolutely huge for us, right? We are now in this incredible position where we can go for a Thunder Wave onto their Zacian slot and just really try and take advantage of that. We do need to be very careful though, right? The Urshifu able to, oh, it has, so this is the issue, right? Urshifu able to go for, what's it called? An Aqua Jet. So we need to try, I mean, we're going to click the Behemoth, or not the Behemoth Blade, the Play Rough, just trying to get the knockout. I really, really regret having Sacred Sword, or not having Sacred Sword on this Zacian. Everyone told me I should have. We're going to see a swap out. I'm hoping, okay, it is going to be Cole. So Cole is fine. I mean, not Cole. Yveltal is fine with me, right? We have access to our Zapdos in the back. And so that's going to be really, really crucial for a lot of things, as we should hopefully be able to finish off this, what's it called? Oh, we went for the Thunder Wave. That's not helpful at all. We can Light Screen, though. That's what we want to do, right? We want to Light Screen and go for an Airstream. We know that the Yveltal is not going to be super bulky, right? This should be Jude's set. So if we can set up screens, we should be in really good shape. The Zapdos hoping to clean up at this point. We want to go for a Light Screen just to be in a better position. I want to go for the Airstream onto this onto this Urshifu. We could see one thing that is a little scary, right? We could see a Tailwind come out, but I don't think that that's the end of the world, right? If we can set up an Airstream, we will be in a really good position where we can just go for flares onto the Zacian at the back, or if we get a paralysis off, right? Like that should be more than enough to help us out. So I think we're really good for Zapdos to put in some work right now. So yeah, we just got to see what's going to happen, right? There is a lot of options. Luckily, Zapdos being at full is going to be very critical. A Tailwind would be scary, but I don't think you want to go for the Tailwind, right? Because if we should have just lightninged into that spot, in all honesty. I think this is a little bit safer though. I just want to set up this way, and this way we can go for like a flare into whatever they bring out. But I think, in all honesty, Yveltal is like way scarier. This was actually a really bad play, but we are going to see, this should definitely be the max Yveltal. Yeah, we are going to see that that Cherish Ball. And so being able to set up this way, I think is going to be really helpful. We can start firing Spirit Breaks off into this bird. And then the big question now is, can we KO enough where we can bring out our Kyogre to sweep? So we're going to see the Aqua Jet. Makes sense, right? You're trying to get every little bit of chip you can. We're going to get the Light Screen up, so that's going to be huge. The question now is how many, how many hits are you going to, Airstreams are you going to get, right? Because what happens, right, is if you don't go for, or if you go for an Airstream, what we can do is we can bring out our Kyogre and go for a really just like a completely strong Water Spout, which you don't have a good answer for, which should be enough to KO, as we are going to see, yeah, the Airstream going to come out here into the Grimmsnarl. So this is actually a little less than ideal. I really would have liked to have the extra boost on my Grimmsnarl, right? I mean, I would have liked the KO onto my Grimmsnarl so I could have a free switch into Kyogre. So this is a little bit less than ideal. I do want to keep matching airstreams though. I think that that's going to be important. We are going to see probably the Zacian. So my main issue right now is the Zacian hasn't taken chip. And so what I think I need to do is I need to go for a Thunder Wave onto this Zacian and go for an Airstream onto the Yveltal, right? I need to keep my Zapdos healthier compared to the Zacian. That is going to be really my main sort of win con, as we are going to see, yeah, the very obvious Protect. So we should see most likely an Airstream come out. We could have gone for, what's it called? We could have gone for an Airstream into the Zacian just to help us out in the end game, as we will be able to do a really sizable chunk into this Yveltal, right? Like this is really helping us out. We're also maintaining Zapdos' speed, which is going to be huge, as we should see an Airstream come out, yep, into most likely, it is going to be that Grimmsnarl, so that makes a lot of sense, right? You are trying to absolutely make it so you are in the best position possible, but at this point, we should be able to, what's it called? We should be able to bring out Kyogre. We have access to a single target, we should have access to a single target Origin Pulse into the Zacian, which is going to be good. We still have up screens, which is going to be really beneficial, right, in terms of how much damage we're able to take. We do have Protect on our Zapdos, so that's going to be huge. So I think at this point, right, we want to go for the Origin Pulse, right, trying to get that double target, and go for the Lightning onto the Yveltal. And these screens really are going to come in clutch, especially because of the huge amount of lack of bulk on my Kyogre right now. More importantly, right, we should be able to get the KO onto this Yveltal, which means that Zapdos will be the fastest thing on the field, which is definitely what I want. My opponent making a really good read, right, going for that max guard into the Yveltal, allowing it to be spread damage, as we will see the Behemoth Blade come out onto our Zapdos. So the big question now is, how much is this going to do? You know, a little bit more than I would have liked, but it's fine. We just need to hit the Origin Pulse into this Zacian, and it should put it in range. I think that should be in range of a Thunderbolt from Zapdos. And so if that's the case, we can go for an Ice Beam onto the Yveltal and try and go from there. So I'm going to do, yeah, I'm going to go for the Ice Beam onto the Yveltal and then go for a Thunderbolt onto the Zacian. This way, if you switch out into Rillaboom, it should be fine. But we do have both screens up, right? And that's going to definitely be something really beneficial for us, that it's going to help us sponge up a lot of this damage. And I think Grimmsnarl really coming in clutch. Like, it was able to put on so much pressure. I think we have to lead Grimmsnarl every time, right? Like, there is going to always be that fear, right, of we're going to see, okay, the Protect, smart, most likely going for a Snarl here, just trying to lower some special attacks as we go for damage. We're going to see, yep, that Snarl going to come out here, doing a lot more than expected onto the Kyogre, so we are not out of the woods yet, right? Like, we are in a really tricky spot. Ice Beam going to come out. Big question, how much are we going to do? The answer, not enough. We are going to lose our Reflect. I'm going to go for an Origin Pulse and go for a Protect on the Zapdos. I think we're playing a little bit of a mind game right now. It's not over. I just, like, yeah, this is tricky. I'm hoping for a Snarl into a try to attempt to KO the Zapdos, hoping Rillaboom will clean up. And that'll let us finish things off pretty well. So yeah, we'll get the Detect off. I'm guessing, like I said, it's going to be, okay, perfect. Foul Play, good start into the Zapdos, as we will see Behemoth Blade, perfect double up into the Zapdos. Big question now is Origin Pulse. Are we going to double connect? We do. Huge shout out to Ogre. And this should hopefully, it is going to be perfect enough for a double knockout. And right at this range, that Rillaboom should not be able to survive anything, right? I think it's in the red, if I'm not mistaken. So we have access to both Hurricane and Ice Beam. So let's just see where it's at. Yeah, it's going to be in the red. So we are more than fine just to double up into it. And that should, yeah, we can't miss Hurricane. And Ice Beam cannot miss at this range. I feel like it's fine. We'll click the Hurricane, right? You should not be able to KO Zapdos with a Grassy Glide. We will see it come out, though, going onto the Kyogre. Kyogre yeah, obviously not going to survive here. And so now we should be able to fire off a big hurricane, just going straight into that Rillaboom and able to clean this one up nicely for us. So we will be able to take game 1 and move into game number 2. And so now, right, we showed off Imprison on Zacian, and I think my opponent has to respect that, right? You cannot, you can't like ignore that. And so as a result, I think you have to play a lot more aggressively with Fake Out. And so as a result, right, I'm going to bring out Grimmsnarl Zapdos. I think Grimmsnarl Zapdos really will be able to put us in a good position, right? If they bring Urshifu Cole, we have the ability right off the bat to set up some screens. But Grimmsnarl, yeah, Grimmsnarl, Zapdos, and then we bring Whale and Dog in the back and try and go from there. I think this is going to be a very, very Zapdos game. Sorry, I'm very, very dehydrated right now. Yeah, I'm very dehydrated. We're trying to figure things out. So we'll kind of see here. Luckily, like, this is Jude's team. I know it very well. I wish I were Trick. God, if I were Trick Grimmsnarl right now, and I could, no, I can't even steal the weakness policy. But right, being able to set up in front of their Colossal will be huge, right? We can go for just a lot of pressure, but I think they are going to probably go for Cole on lead. I think that makes the most sense. And as a result, we have a couple options, right? We can set up a light screen. Yeah, I very much expect to see the switch into Cole, which I don't know if I like, as we're gonna see, actually, okay, they're gonna run it back. So this is perfect for me. Right, we are now in a much better position, right? We sort of called what they were going for. And I think what we can do is we can Airstream into the Zacian, right? We can Airstream into the Zacian so we can flare it. And this way, if you're going for a sub, we're in phenomenal shape, right? We're gonna really try and pin you as hard as we can. So I'm gonna go for a Reflect, and I'm gonna go for a max Airstream onto the Zacian. I think this covers all options. If they go for like a Fake Out into, what's it called? If they Fake Out into Rillaboom and Blade my Zapdos, obviously not ideal, but we should be in a pretty good position to come back from that. And so, yeah, I think that's fine, right? We just want to try and set up ideally. This way, we're making it so Flare, which we haven't revealed yet, should be more than enough to knock out their Zacian the subsequent turn. So we just need to get enough chip where that will happen. We will get that this way. Then we do have the ability to go for screens or something like that. So we're going to see the Rillaboom withdraw. So this is actually huge, right? This guarantees that we're going to be able to set up pretty effectively in the face of the Zacian, right? We can get an Airstream, we can get a Flare, and we can start going for Spirit Breaks onto the Urshifu, and we can reduce the amount of damage it's going to do as well, which is going to be awesome. So if you go for a sub, right, as long as we break the sub, we're in phenomenal shape, which I feel like you can't really afford to do that, but you know, we will see. So sub would be interesting. They might have been calling that I'm going to attack into them, as we will see. Perfect, a Behemoth Blade going to come out here onto my probably my Grimmsnarl into the Zapdos, so even better, right? We now set up an Airstream. They don't know I have Flare. We also get a really lucky Paralysis onto this Zacian. So at this point, I'm actually not worried about it at all. The scary thing, though, is they probably have Yveltal in the back. We do need to respect it a little bit, but I still feel fine, especially like Zapdos, right? Overall, just doing incredible stuff. I want to go for a Spirit Break onto... Let's Spirit Break onto the Urshifu. And go for a Flare onto the Zacian. This covers a potential switch in from Rillaboom, which we definitely would not like to see. We're going to see Perfect staying in, absolutely just going to get eaten by that Flare. This is also going to reduce the amount of damage that the Urshifu is going to do, right? So that is something else we have working for us in our favor. We could then Airstream the subsequent turn into their Urshifu, right? And then try and set up that way. Yeah, with the sun up, we are taking absolutely no damage from the Surging Strikes. Zapdos in a very commanding position. but not necessarily a guaranteed one, right? We still have to worry about the Yveltal in the back. And I think what we want to do actually is we want to just guarantee we can get rid of everything else. The big issue right now that I'm seeing is the fact that, right, you can bring out Yveltal. You can bring out Yveltal and then just protect for the last turn of my max and get some extra chip damage with the Urshifu. So I'd much rather set up a light screen and then try to use, our Grimmsnarl to break through this Yveltal. We know it's not weakness policy, right? It's on the coal. So we can go for a light screen, go for the Airstream. So I'm going to set up a light screen just for guaranteed protection, going for another Airstream onto this Urshifu. That lets us go for things like, That lets us go for things like a Thunderbolt, a Heat Wave. We can potentially sacrifice our Kyogre if we need to, right? I don't think it's going to serve us much purpose, but we really want to just create a scenario where Grimmsnarl can do a lot of work. And the issue right now, right, is what is the issue right now? If you bring out Rillaboom, right, we do have to worry about a potential double up. I would love to see a max guard, right, trying to eat that out. That's gonna let us go for Spirit Breaks the subsequent turn. We might, I don't know if we want to sacrifice Kyogre. I don't think it's like a bad idea. I don't hate the idea of sacrificing Kyogre, especially with Zacian in the back, right? Like, we should be, yes, perfect. This is exactly what I was hoping for, right? We're gonna set up our light screen, which is going to really help with the survivability against this Yveltal as we fire off the Airstream, perfectly reading the switch out from, or the protect from my opponent. This is huge for us, right? We get off a ton of damage. I think what we want to do is we probably want to Heat Wave. My thought process with that is it guarantees that Zacian can KO Rillaboom. Like, this is still not over, right? They still have 2 turns of max. We do have access to we still have access to a lot of resources, right? You can't just freely, I mean, you can if you want, like, freely go for damage. I definitely want to try to Spirit Break onto this Yveltal. I'm gonna go for a Thunderbolt onto it, right? I'm not worried about the Rillaboom as a result of having Zacian. We're not the most bulky as a result of some things, but I think it should still be enough. And if we can keep the Reflect, we're gonna see the Fake Out come out into the Grimmsnarl, I think correctly targeting where to go. We will just get, okay, that's just a lot of damage. This is so dumb. We will see probably an Airstream come out into my Zapdos, right? Okay, so that makes sense, right? You're trying to get some just KOs across the board. I think we bring out Kyogre and we essentially just sacrifice it. In all honesty, I think Kyogre should just be sacrifice fodder at this point. We can go for an Origin Pulse and we can go for a Spirit Break, because if we can Spirit Break into the Yveltal, I think that's ideal. This is also your second turn of max, so that's something we have. Also, I don't expect it to have Heat Wave, but if you do, right, we're getting up the rain to deal with that. And I'm just going to go on the offensive. Grimmsnarl should very comfortably be able to take a hit, and we should be able to fire off a Spirit Break onto this Yveltal. I'm going to go for an Origin Pulse too. Just like I said, we're playing aggressive. Unless you double up into Grimmsnarl, Grimmsnarl should survive. That's going to let us be in a very strong position. Also then, right, we can be in a position where we can break through a lot of what you have. So I think this is our ideal play. I think if we can get the Spirit Break off, we're going to be fine. We're going to see the Glide come out into the Grimmsnarl, most likely calling a Protect, as we will see the Airstream come out onto the Grimmsnarl as well. We are perfect, able to absolutely take that, right? Like, Grimmsnarl really, really putting in work right now. And at this point, right, we will be able to just get a Spirit Break off onto this Yveltal, really sort of hampering what it can do, and what we can potentially... Oh, we missed something. Please say... Oh, the wrong one to miss. Very good damage off onto the Yveltal. I think what we can try to do is, if we can take a Grassy Glide, we may as well go for a Paralysis onto... Oh, that's huge. That is huge. You do not have access to priority anymore. We still have a Reflect up. So I think what we can do actually is I'm gonna go for a Thunder Wave onto the Rillaboom, and I'm gonna go for another Origin Pulse. This should be enough to put us in a really strong position. Right, you don't have priority anymore. We potentially can outspeed you with our Kyogre at this point, because you're only at +2. The Yveltal probably still going to move first, but not the end of the world, right? We stalled out the Grassy Terrain, which is huge. And at this point, right, you're also at -1, so that's going to help us from a damage point of view. Thunder Wave, just, you know, for some fun. Going into that Rillaboom, which should really help with taking damage, as we will see the Oblivion Wing, so a little bit scary, coming out into the Grimmsnarl. So Grimmsnarl definitely going to be able to eat that, which is huge. The one thing to take note of, though, is the amount of turns left for for the Reflected Light Screen, as Origin Pulse going to double connect here into that Yveltal, going to be enough for the knockout. And so at this point, right, we should be more than comfortable to finish things off, as they will unfortunately be going for damage into the Ogre. So we love to see that, right? Nothing would make me happier than getting my final KO of Series 12 with my Kyogre. So I'm gonna click Light Screen again, or I'm gonna click Reflect again, just because I really want the KO, and I'm gonna go for an Ice Beam, just because like I said, this Kyogre, it means a lot to me. I would love more than anything to be able to pick up this last knockout with it, just because it is a very important thing, and it looks like we will luckily be able to finish things off using my Kyogre, the Shining Star. I love this Pokemon so much. Series 12 is great. Like, obviously we're gonna do more Series 13, so look out for that. But yeah, shout out to my opponent. Huge shout out to the rest of my team. We're absolutely crushing it. Look for more stuff, and with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.